Hey everyone, welcome to your Autumn Equinox Pick a Leaf reading. I'm excited to bring these to you for this 3-month period, and it's actually a part 2 of two of these videos that I'm doing. The first one was actually back on August 8th, and those were the Lion's Gate portal readings. Those were letting you know what you were surrendering to or what you were getting ready to surrender, and that energy has been working since August 8th up until this reading, which will be from September 22nd to December 21st for this year. And these readings are going to be out, because autumn, fall, what is falling away out of your life to make room for the new. So I will go ahead and put the link for the Lion's Gate portal readings in the description box below, and also a link to the playlist at the end of this video, just to make it convenient for you there. So I would definitely go check those out if you haven't already, just to see what energies we're bringing you into this autumn equinox period. And as I mentioned, this is a pick a leaf reading, so you do have a choice between 3 different leaves, or 2 or 3, as many as you want. We don't limit it here, but if you want to choose the red leaf, that's reading number 1. The orange leaf will be reading number 2, and the yellow leaf will be reading number 3. Number 1 we're going to do first, and so if you chose one of the others, that timestamp will also be in the description box below. So let's dive right in and see what this fall equinox is going to be bringing you. All right, my Libras, if you chose reading number 1, which is the red leaf, then this is your reading. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Power of Surrender cards. And this is going to just represent what the Creator wants you to know about what is falling away during this fall period for you. And don't worry, or immediately then going to move into finding out what moves in as these other things fall away. So you won't be left feeling empty. All right. There we go. And Creator, what do you want our Libras who chose the red leaf reading to know about there? What's falling away during this fall? Okay. Right away. And you got Surrender Fear, which is, it's a wonderful picture. I think that almost looks like beautiful, beautiful Saturn, fiery energy. And it says, let go of the fearful stories that you're telling yourself. Stay in the moment, focus on solutions, and celebrate every baby step forward. So yeah, definitely. This means that during this time of this autumn equinox that you, the feelings of not like moving forward with those baby steps, not being who you want to be, not doing what you want to do, the ugly feeling, that suppressive feeling that you have is outweighing your fears, because the only time we really act is when that feeling of feeling ugly outweighs our fears. And then that's when we take action. Until then, the fears outweigh that ugly feeling. We usually don't opt to make a jump unless something really forces us to, right? So this is a huge indicator. It's a general reading, but I feel for the majority of you, it's because you're just like sick and tired of feeling the way you are and feeling that suppression like I talked about. And we'll definitely take a look here, and we're going to pull a card here from the Wild Unknown archetype and just see what is going to replace this fear energy that's in your life as it moves away, what rises for you. So let's take a look here, and we'll give these a good shuffle. Right, and one more time here. Yes, circular cards are very interesting to shuffle. All right, Creator, what do you want our Libras that chose the red leaf to know about? Okay, what is replacing this? What's the new that's coming in for you? And you got the medallion. So definitely reaching for what you're wanting in life. And we will see what energy comes with this. That's 59. There we go. So the medallion, it's the amulet, the talisman, the heirloom. The passing on of sacred objects is an ancient ritual within families, between lovers, and in tribes across the globe. We give jewels, treasures, keepsakes, and mementos of all kinds, some of great material value, others that hold emotional resonance, and still others with both. Yet when these gifts are bestowed upon us, it's important to recognize that they may bind us to an unspoken agreement or promise. When the medallion card appears, be aware of how the objects you hold dear may be embedded with unconscious energy or expectations. Materials hold consciousness, and it's time to reconcile the vibration of the objects around you. What do you covet and collect? Why? Is there an object you have held onto for years that you're ready to release? Perhaps it's time to reach for the medallion that aligns with your deepest values. And it says, do you believe that objects contain supernatural properties? When have you experienced this to be true? Then imagine if you and your family, your school, or social group had a crest, an emblem or amulet. What would it be? Draw it. And I really feel if you had a crest or an emblem, amulet, something that represented you and what you want to be, what would that be? And actually draw it out. So it's putting your essence. It's never going to be captured totally in the drawing on paper, but it's going to help you formulate what you're really wanting to be in life, who you're really wanting to be. Because when you're in the light energy of this amulet, you uphold tradition, you have this protected type of, or protector type of energy around you, and you have this essence of honoring yourself. And when you're in the dark side of this energy, then there's this burdensome inheritance, habituation. So it's like expectations and all these conditions of like conditional love rooted in fear that you feel you have to obtain and continue, or else you're not lovable and acceptable. And to go deeper into the energy of this medallion card, it says, look into ancient Egyptian scarab amulets. So Google that, or whatever your preferable search engine is, and see what resonates with you, because that is definitely, an energy. And I love this, though, that it is that energy of, with you letting go of these fears of being yourself, these fears of doing what you want to do and the steps you want to take in your life. As those fall away and you surrender those fears, then you get brave enough to reach for the star, reach for the amulet, reach for your essence of what you want to be. So it's almost like, especially with the Olympics, go for the gold, don't go for the participation ribbon, go for the gold. We're of course going to look deeper into the energies and what the creator wants you to know. And we're going to use these Wild Unknown Tarot, which is the companion deck to these archetype cards. And we're basically going to pull 4 different sets of cards. And let me just shuffle this one more time here. And so the first one is going to be from the Lionsgate that happened on August 8th, the Lionsgate portal energy that came in all the way up till September 22nd when the autumn equinox begins. So from that period all the way up there, what experiences do you have and what energies are coming into autumn with you? And then we'll pull a card here for September 22nd through October 22nd. This card will be October 22nd to November 21st. It drops one day because there's 31 days in October. And this will be November 21st all the way up to December 21st, which then you go into winter solstice. So we'll start off here by pulling the card here for Lionsgate up to September 22nd, please. Okay. It's like those, and then September 22nd, October 22nd, November 21st. Okay. And then we will also be pulling clarifying cards here from this Everyday Tarot for each of those 4 periods as well. So we'll start off here from Lionsgate up to September 22nd. You've got the Ace of Cups. So this has been coming up off and on through all the readings I've been doing for autumn, which is so beautiful because this is the Holy Grail. The chalice for me represents unconditional love. You know, this is the new love, the new just, you know, because cups are emotions. This is just that new feeling of wholeness and lovability and all that. So the energy that's been coming in here since August 8th all the way up to the September 22nd as you go into that has been showing you what truly quenches your thirst. It's interesting because, you know, a lot of we've been having 2 full moons in a row in July and August that were the Aquarius full moons, and the Aquarians are the water bearers, and with the water they bring is like from this chalice, which is the living waters. And we're taught, you know, all these fears that we give into, all these supposed do's and shoulds and need to's and have to's that we design our life after that are not fulfilling, that do not quench our thirst. All that disappointment eventually turns us inward to where we find the living waters, which is the unconditional love of the creator of all things. And we don't find that in the conditional world out here. We find that within. So you're being introduced, and you're having even if you just have a drop of it during this period, it just is like life-changing. It's like the, you know, the fountain of youth, because it brings you back to this beautiful wholeness and almost to this childlike place, because you feel that you can just rest in that love. You don't feel you have to do anything to become anything else, because just because of who you are, you're loved unconditionally. And I feel this is what this Ace of Cups brings you. Yeah. And then you have the 4 of Swords, and the swords are all about your thoughts, your mind, your belief, your mindsets, your attitudes. And this is all about the 4 of Swords is putting your thoughts and your mind to rest. And then you have the 3rd eye going ballistic here, which is about connecting to the higher realms, which, yeah, you're getting out of your mind and getting into your heart with these cups, because the mind is where all these fears are. The mind is where the expectations are set, because we get all these opinions that come from outside that we take on as rules. And then, you know, we get them from all sorts of places of authority, and even, you know, siblings and schoolmates and cartoons and books and movies. We get it from everywhere, and we're just like, okay, thank you. We're just these consuming little data gatherers, you know, up until like we're 12 or 13, and all that information we're putting in all our supposed to's, and we're aligning all our conditioning. And we of course continue to gather throughout our lives, but those usually have to be drastic, super life-changing kind of roles we take on. And majority of it's when we're in our younger years, when we're before we turn stubborn. So we're going to see what else the creator wants you to know about this amazing energy here. It makes so much sense because you're letting go of the fears, connecting to your higher realm, because that's where you're finding this unconditional love, this fulfillment, this life-quenching waters. Okay. Creator, what else do you want our Libras to know about this period of time here, coming up from the Lion's Gate up to autumn? Okay. Okay, we actually got 4 for this, so Yeah, and then you have the Three of Wands here. And the Wands are about, it can be about your spirit, but it's also your fire, your drive. So like in the physical realm, it's your passions, your drive, the spark of life that, kind of encourages you and gives you that, I'm trying to think of the word, inspiration to do things. In the spiritual side, because the wands are fire, which is also spirit, it also has to do with your spiritual side and your spiritual energies. But for this is about the Three of Wands. The Two Wands before it is about kind of making plans in the physical world. It's like you're inspired. So you're like, I'm going to do A and B and C and D and E, and this is how I'm going to get there because I'm going to take all these steps. And then the Three of Wands is like you've gone from A to B and you're getting ready to go into the ocean, to a whole new part of your choices and adventure. And I really feel with this new inspiration that's coming in, you're making changes to your plans. And let's take a look and see what else comes with that. Yeah. Because you're balancing it more. You still have your thoughts and your beliefs because she holds the Ace of Swords here. But the Ace of Swords also is what you can use to cut away old ways of believing and thinking. So these old expectations and beliefs and fear and your worth, you can cut away. And I love that this, of course, you being Libras, understand the balance here. But for me, what this represents is this is your spirit side and this is your human side. And this is a message about balancing your choices and your plans. And that before, like I said, it was so weighed with fear and not being who you really are and what you're really wanting to do. But that ugly feeling has balanced it out to where you're like balancing what it is that will keep you alive and have you have those things, like food, water, shelter, and other things. But you're balancing with your true passions, your heart, your spirit, and that. So you're making this balance, especially with this connection that you're making, like with your third eye and this little lamb here. Because the lamb is being gentle with itself, with all its beliefs and everything. It's allowing itself to rest and hear from up above, from the other side. And that gives you the guidance and new inspiration, new things that you want to do in your life as well. And let's see what else comes with this here. Yeah, because Page of Pentacles. So Page of Pentacles is new opportunities coming your way in the physical world, because Pentacles are about the physical world. And the Page is kind of two messages that come with the Page. The first is that a page is normally a messenger. So you're going to be getting messages from outside, from the outside world coming in about new opportunities and new possibilities that more efficiently match your true nature and what you really wanted to do in life. The other thing is the Page also represents like a child and you're younger feeling to it. So Page for me have been representing lately going back to those freedom. In this case with the Pentacles, it's when you were young and you thought anything was possible. I'm going to be an astronaut. I'm going to be an alien. Whatever it was going to be when you were young, you had no inclination about limitation. We learn that carried down from generation to generation through our society and all these expectations. So these fears is like, oh no, you can't be an artist. You're going to starve to death. You need to have something more solid. Or, oh no, you don't want to be a doctor. That's too much work and too expensive. We're not going to be able to afford that. And, if you kill someone, then your life is ruined. It's all these fears and limitations that are put in for your dreams. But this Page of Pentacles is about going back to that place before all that happened, where you just like, the world is full of possibilities and I'm not limited. Yep. And then here's the moon. So yeah, you definitely, this has both the sun and the moon energy in it. And this is about things come up from the depths, from your unconscious. And that makes total sense with connecting to your third eye and to that higher connection to the other side. The moon is very much about the unseen world and connecting to up above. So for me, this is about trusting your intuition, trusting your gut. And I would also look at the moon kind of phases that are happening, and because it shows the new moon here, I would look at what new moon comes between August 8th and September 22nd, and just see how that applies to your chart, whether it's your moon sign you're looking at or wherever. Just look at how that new moon impacts your birth chart. And I apologize if you hear the garbage truck. It's garbage day and recycle day, so you might even hear the recycle truck. Aren't you lucky? But that's a sign, right? It's time to take out the trash. All right. So all that energy, beautiful energy, is coming into the autumn equinox. And so on September 22nd then, which makes total sense. So this is the 10 of Swords, which is at the end of this, deck here, before you get into like the Page and Knight and Queen and King. And this represents exhaustion. All these swords, again, are your thoughts, your beliefs, your attitudes, all your expectations that you've been trying to meet. And, like I mentioned before, they come from all over the place. And so some even contradict one another. This person says you're supposed to be this. You're supposed to be funny. This one, you're supposed to be serious. This one, you're supposed to be quiet. It's like, okay, if I get into a conversation with all three of them, I'm screwed because I can't be all those things at once. It brings a lot of pressure when you have to try to do that, and it's meant for a reason. This is like, I'm exhausted, I give up, and the 10 is about endings and new beginnings. So you're definitely, as all this information comes in, you're letting go of expectations and you're ready to start the new. So again, let's take a look here and see what the Creator wants you to know. And one more time. And you, of course, know what these fears are and what these expectations are that are exhausting you, because they're the things that are keeping you up at night, Yeah, so funny. So you got the Emperor here, and it's so fitting because the Emperor represents like society. And what comes before this is the number 3, the Empress. The Empress is like Mother Nature, the free-flowing, just before, imagine when people didn't live together as tribes and everyone was just being themselves and didn't have to answer to anyone, didn't have anyone else's expectations suppressing them and telling them who they should and shouldn't do and everything. It was just about enjoying each moment, making sure you have food and, exploring and all that kind of fun stuff. But then the Emperor comes in, which represents, like I said, society, which comes in as like, well, as we're gathering together, we're going to need to put some rules together so we all don't kill one another and so that things can run smoothly. And so in the beginning, had very clear intentions on that it wasn't about really power. It was about cohesiveness, between tribes and between large groups of people. Then, of course, the ego gets involved and gets scared, and then power comes into play with all the rules and trying to make sure that the rules fit their side and not others, and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And after that comes the Hierophant, which does the same thing for our spiritual practices. But I don't diss society. I don't diss, organizing, spirituality and religion. All those things are beautiful pieces of our journey, and we come here to experience all that. But all this is to say, here's the source of the expectations, is that you're getting to the source and understanding, like, where did all these expectations come from that I had, and are they really true? Is it really what I want? And you get to decide what you want for your life. You become the emperor of your own life. You get to guide it that way. And all that energy then brings you into October 22nd. Yep, and you have the Five of Wands. So for me, this represents going to another level. You've just been moving up in your spiritual level, and you're just ready for that next step. With all this connection, with this love coming in, the connection to the other side through your third eye. This is the noise that gets in the way. When we have our, when we first come here, we have awareness of spirit. We have, that freedom and all that. Children. That's why children see, relatives that have passed they never met and call out like your brother's name or your grandmother's name, and they're like, oh, grandma, and they're like, what? And then they see a picture and like, oh yeah, grandma, and they're like, how did they know? It's because they still haven't disconnected from all that connection yet. And when it comes back to clearing away all this noise, because the noise and all these expectations is what drowns out us hearing those whispers of love on the other side. So this becomes very noisy in our lives. And so when you start quieting yourself again, then you start expanding as you disconnect from expectations and all this world stuff and connect to your higher realms, then you do move to higher levels. We'll see what this other card is here too. Yeah, so Father of Pentacles. So, this is all about as you master and move into another level of your spirit, then the Pentacles, your outside world, becomes very abundant because you see things from a completely different place, with letting go of expectations and finding this Ace of Cups, which truly fills you up. It's what you've been looking for. Everything on the outside becomes extra. And so abundance is just all around you because you have so many things in your life to be grateful for. And it is definitely this feeling of gratitude and thankfulness, because that's what the King, the Father of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles realizes, because he's at the end of the Pentacle suit. He's been through all the searching for riches, searching outside of himself for fulfillment and being disappointed, and eventually finding this Ace of Cups. And that's why, it's just this amazing energy that comes from it. And I almost feel like these antlers are like antennas. It's like, he's totally connected to the other side as well. And that's why he understands that the creator of all things is who brings his sufficiency, his abundance. And this is whether you're male or female. This is just the masculine side of the card, the Divine Father piece of the Pentacles. But it tells you that the Creator is the supplier of everything, and it has unlimited resources. Everyone else on the human side is just the middleman who brings it to you. And that's what this awareness that comes with the King of Pentacles or the Father of Pentacles. And we'll see what else the Creator wants you to know about this period of time here. All right, Creator, what else for October 22nd to November 21st? Okay, so it's these two. Yeah, so you got the Page of Cups, which, like I mentioned with the Ace of Cups, this is, and the Page of Pentacles, the cups are all about the emotions, and the Page is about messages of love. So you're going to have messages of love coming in, most likely because of your higher spiritual connection. It's messages of love from above. And then also the Page is about returning to those emotions that you had before you were influenced about how everything is supposed to make you feel. And so you have this new level of emotion going back to almost like you said, the feeling of a child, where if you get upset real quick, but you get over it real quick because you go on to the next adventure. We're taught later about grudges and about revenge and everything else. The emotions of children are very pure and quick and forgiving, and that's the kind of energy that comes back for you there. Yeah, and then you have the Five of Pentacles, And this message just reinforces a lot of what I talked about with the King of Pentacles, because this is about when you feel not worthy, or you feel like you're abandoned and not getting any assistance in the external world. This shows like the stainless glass windows, it's like a church, meaning in this case it represents spirit, the spiritual side, the spiritual world. And then you can see all the stars representing the universe, and it's even on the cloak that's protecting them. It's like, yep, you are protected, your sufficiency comes from there. It's just a matter of realizing it. And when we're in these mindsets of all these expectations, looking to the outside world, going, they're not giving me what I want, they're not giving me what I want, they're not giving me what I want. It's because we are searching for those things outside of us. Once we find the love we're looking for inside of us, then we see that we have everything we need on the outside already, and that we're being provided for. We have enough for today. We don't need all the energy and all the resources and everything for our entire lives today. How boring would that be? It's about trust and movement and enjoying life, and not being so attached to those external things. That's what the Father of Pentacles learns as they're going through that as well. And then that brings you up to November 21st. And so you come into this with the Daughter of Swords, which is the Page of Swords in the regular deck. So you got the Page of Pentacles, you got the Page of Cups, and now you have the Page of Swords. So this is new thoughts, renewed thoughts, and you've got all these beautiful orbs that are around you, bringing you new thoughts and new messages as well. So you're going to be getting new thoughts, because again, the page brings you messages. So you're going to get messages coming in your mind, which could be new ideas, new creativity, which definitely makes sense as you're connecting here. Letting expectations go, stepping up into the next spiritual level. The creator of all things is the master of creativity. So as you connect to that higher level, that your creative flow just goes hog wild and crazy too. It's literally like going from black and white to color. And then whenever I see something like that, I always see this picture of the Wizard of Oz where it goes from black and white into Technicolor. And that's kind of what it is. You go into this whole new world as you come, full circle here. And and as I was talking about with the other pages, you're not so stubborn about your beliefs. Returning to this Page of Swords is being more open-minded, and in doing that, you do glean new wisdom and new information that comes in. Because when you're stubborn and closed-minded, you close yourself off to a bunch of possibilities, like with the Page of Pentacles. So with this, you open up yourself to so many new ideas and solutions, ways to get to the gold, that you didn't see before, because now you're seeing more clearly. And again, we'll pull some more cards here. Let me just make a little space here. Let's see what else the creator wants you to know about November 21st. Got all these new ideas and renewed mind coming. Open mind, spirit, and your whole posse of beings of unconditional love and light on the other side, just dropping ideas into your brain like out of the blue. It's just like, wow. And an example for me is when a book I wrote, it's my only nonfiction book, Journey to the High Temple. I just sat down and I just saw a picture in my brain of like this cat, dog, like animal in a tree, and I just started writing, and I was just watching the whole story unfold. And before I knew it, I'd written my first novel, and I was just going, why did that happen? And it would come out later, and it was totally like being dropped into my head. I had no idea why certain events were happening, or why a shadowed character was like, who's the shadowed character? And they're like, just keep typing. And I was excited to keep writing to find out, how does this story unfold? And that's the kind of stuff that can happen. You can have these ideas just pop in, and you're like, where did that come from? And then you'll know it came from your support team on the other side. All right, creator, what else for November 21st to December 21st? Okay, makes sense. Yep, this is the only one. So you got the Two of Cups here. And, some people interpret this as, new relationships, new loves, new important people in your life. Because it's a general reading, I'll throw that out there. But for me, this card really has a special meaning with Spirit, which is this is like your human side and this is your spirit, and this is about this bond that happens. And here's the Ace of Cups, unconditional love being offered to you. And so it's this this binding together. You're not fighting against, I'm trying to kill my ego and my human side so I can become a spiritual being. That's a part of you. It's your shadow. It's the brave part of us that chose to be detached from the collective, from the giant sea of love on the other side, to be detached from, quote, heaven, to experience life down here on earth, feeling alone, not remembering who we are, feeling limited, and what it might feel like to fear, and all those emotions that come along with it, like sadness and anger and betrayal and resentment, all those other emotions. We came here to experience all that. And so this is your spirit joining together with your physical ego, human side, and holding hands and walking together on your path rather than battling or being oblivious of each other. So this is a beautiful acceptance and peace, inner cohesiveness that comes because of all this. So you really learn to work together, balancing, again, when we were talking about balancing with the Justice card, balancing the human and the spiritual side, this is showing that you've achieved that over these 3 months, that when you reach the end of it, you just really feel this comfortable place with all that. All right, and then lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to pull a card here from, yet another Wild Unknown deck. I love these decks, so it is a companion deck to these, but this is the Animal Spirit Oracle. So this is going to tell you what spirit guide or spirit guide energy are going to be with you your entire journey from the Lion's Gate all the way up until at least the winter solstice. So we'll see what the spirit animal the creator wants to let you know is along with you, along your big team that you have of support up there. You got angels and guardian angels and spirit guides, the creator and spirit itself, loved ones who've already passed to the other side. You got ancestors and unicorns and fairies, whatever you believe is the higher powers on the other side of unconditional love and light. They're all there. You have this large group to support you. All right, Creator, what spirit guide do you want them to know is with them as well? Okay, yep, that is the one. You got the elephant. And it has fire coming out of its trunk. It's holding on to fire, and then it also has a third eye ruby there. So we'll definitely see what this elephant has to bring and what they're bringing for you on your journey here. There it is. Yeah, unstoppable, auspicious, wise. So the elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. So like Ganesh, the elephant represents immense wisdom as well as good fortune. It is said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles. So if this card appears when you feel stuck, rest assured the path will soon become clear, right? Going to help you clear these fears. To add to the mystery, the elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. Trust this gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with the light of self-knowledge. And when you're in balance with their energy, you have one pointed focus. You're generous, you're loving. When you're out of balance, you're misunderstanding your fate. And to bring this energy into balance, trust. So yeah, I love that. Perfect guide for you in this direction here to help you remove these obstacles of fear, and then also to block And I feel what they would block you is returning back to the old ways, to the old expectations. So when you start to feel unsure because you're going into unknown territory, your fight or flight might start to kick in, and then that's when this elephant energy will definitely come in to help you remind you, when you did what you always did, you're going to get what you always got. Is that what you want? And you're like, oh no. And it brings back that ugly feeling of not being yourself that outweighs the fear again. So he's really, again, with this flame, it's helping light your way as you maneuver this path as well. So anytime you see an elephant in real life, depending on where you live, maybe even go to a zoo, visit the elephants. But, look, whenever it comes across on social media, or even printing out pictures, or if you're an artist, or even want to draw a very stick-figured like elephant, whatever it is, to have it around you to remind you that to come back to your passion, remember about letting your fears go, to pursue what you really want in your life, and to connecting to your higher side, your spiritual side. So I love this autumn for you. And just know, as you're going through every second of every day of this, that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. You have an amazing autumn, and I'm sure I will talk to you soon. You take care now. All right, my Libras, if you chose reading number 2, the orange leaf, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Power of Surrender cards. And this is going to represent just what the Creator wants you to know about what is falling away out of your life during this fall period. And then don't worry, right away, we're going to look at what new thing is coming into your life as that falls away. So you're not going to be left empty just as that energy moves. New energy moves right in its place. So you will not feel like this. You've been abandoned or empty. So we'll take a look here and see what the Creator wants you to know. All right, Creator for Libras that chose the orange leaf, what do you want them to know about what's falling away in this autumn here? Actually, I feel like this one right here is the one. Yep, you got surrender the habit of people pleasing. So, and that says, speak your needs and be true to yourself. Focus on your own happiness instead of always trying to make everyone else happy. And I know when this card comes up, it's a, oh, thank God. And then there's also this little, but who am I if I'm not pleasing people? And that's a good question, because a lot of our ego that we're taught is, about, well, we got to make other people happy. That's what we're taught, right? And all these opinions and all these expectations of others, I got to fulfill those to make them happy. I got to make sure their lives are happy, even if that means my life isn't going to be, because we fear the rejection of those others. But we're going to see what the Creator is going to replace that with these wild unknown archetype cards, and we'll just see what message comes in here. But it is definitely freeing when you realize that you can never please any of the people any of the time. All right, Creator, what do you want our Libras to know about what new thing comes into their life as they let go of the people pleasing? Yep, and you got Eros. You see that there? And then let's look and see what message comes from this. You got, should be this. Here we go. So Eros is love as desire, eroticism, sensuality. So though Eros can be depicted as unbridled sexuality and eroticism, a more contemplative understanding of this archetypal energy leads us to the root of desire itself. What do we long for? Why are we awakened by love? What makes us hesitate in the face of intimacy? Eros connects us with the primal longing to merge with another human being, nature, music, art, plants, food, or anything that we perceive we are separate from. Eros allows us to momentarily unite. Our heart embraces otherness, and in doing so, we further understand our own. Our life force awakens. And this card reveals an inevitable initiation into love's labyrinth. Yay! You may find yourself swirling in a new territory of desire and sensuality. Explore the labyrinth with a curious and honest heart, and remember, though the way is circuitous, you are always being led towards its center. And I love that because this reminds me of the journey that I went on when I was being faced with my people pleasing. Yes, I am a recovering people pleaser. So welcome to the group. This is the group meeting. It's an intervention. But when I faced that, what happened is I had to find out what I liked. Before, when I was I was like an extreme people pleaser. I would never do anything that I want to do. People always said, "Where do you want to go eat?" I don't know. What do you want to go eat? Okay, that sounds good. Let's go movie. What do you want to see? I don't know. What movie do you want to go see? I always put it back on everyone else, and we always did what everyone else did. No matter how much they wanted me, I had no idea what I wanted, so we just said we would go and do what everyone else wanted. And at that point in my life, then I started going into that labyrinth of what makes me feel passionate, what makes me feel, what brings up desire inside of me, my passions inside of me, the spark inside of me. What do I enjoy? And sometimes it took me going to a restaurant that I didn't like. There's not much food I don't like, but I like going to movies, oh, okay, I went to a horror movie. I'm like, meh, it's a movie, but not my cup of tea. Romantic movies, I was like, meh, they're kind of cool, but not really. I don't go out of my way to see them, but they're fun to watch. And then, like action, adventure type. Oh, I love that. So I knew which type I liked. And so you start to learn what your passions are. And I feel like this is what this energy is opening up, because without worrying about pleasing everyone else, you're now looking at how can I please myself? What does please me? And it says the Hindu goddess Lalita, which is she who plays, can help activate Eros energy. She's also known as, I'm going to murder this, I'm sure, Kame? Let me just spell it. It's Kameshvari. And that's Empress of Desire. And then it says, Plato reminds us that Eros can be experienced as platonic love. It is activated when we witness beauty and truth in the world, when our barriers soften. So when you're in the lighter energy of this, you have passion, you're playful, you have sexual health. And when you're in the dark energies, it's madness, projection, obsession. And to go deeper into this energy, it suggests there's a love sonnet, XI, which is 11, by Pablo Neruda. It's Neruda. Also, Basket of Figs by Alan Bass, Bass. So if you feel drawn to go look at those things, I would, because you probably give you some insight into that. So perfect, energy that's coming in with this moving away, people pleasing, meeting up to other people's desires. When that moves away, finding out what you really desire and what do you want to live for, instead of living the life of a slave. You're going to become the master of your own life. We're, of course, going to dig more into this, and we're going to use these Wild Unknown Tarot. It's a companion deck to these Wild Unknown archetype cards. And we're just going to see what the Creator wants you to know, really about 4 different periods of this autumn equinox that's coming in. Just one more time here. And what we're going to look at is from the Lion's Gate on August 8th, that portal brought in energy. And so since then, all the way up till September 22nd, you've been having energies and experiences come in. And so we're going to ask the Creator what they want you to know about this energy and experiences that you're bringing into autumn. And then we're going to pull a card here that represents September 22nd to October 22nd, and then a card here for October 22nd to November 21st. It's one day less because there's 31 days in October, so it moves it back a day. And this card will be November 21st up to December 21st, which is the winter solstice. So let's just give it one more shuffle here. And we'll see, Creator, what do you want our Libras to know about this energy from Lion's Gate up to the autumn equinox? Okay, so that's for September. Up to September 22nd, and this is September 22nd to October 22nd. We get 2 for there too. And then October 22nd to November 21st. That one really was whispering. And then this one's November 21st to December 21st. Okay. So that's that one. And then we'll also be pulling clarification on these periods of time from these everyday tarot as well. I'm just going to take a quick sip of water here. There we go. All right, Creator. So from the Lion's Gate up to September 22nd, and we've got the 6 of Cups here. And what the 6 of Cups is about is, it's kind of like the nostalgia card. You can see that the roots of the tree are all highlighted, and this represents like going back and looking at your emotions and the memories of your past and understanding them. So the energy that came in from the Lion's Gate was really prompting you to revisit old memories based with new knowledge. And let's see what this one is here. Yeah, because you've got the Knight of Cups. So this is the Ace of Cups here, which is basically the chalice, the Holy Grail. It's the unconditional love of the Creator of all things, and this is what brings in a whole new world for you. Because all this people pleasing, this was all the external things you were taught, like. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you should do. This is what you have to do. This is what you need to do. All those things from the outside world telling you who you should be and how you should please them. Disappointing, exhausting, and then so you've come back into you, and then that's where you find this unconditional love. And then this is normally like the Knight of Cups in a regular tarot deck, and so this is all about taking action and movement of that love. And I really feel that when you have this foundation of this is your love, and then you go back and look at all your experiences of what you had, it changes your viewpoint of them, and it makes you feel less like a victim and more like you were an adventurer, and that these things happened for you and not to you. Because you start to realize that everyone else's actions were about them fearing losing love, just like you were. And then you don't take it personal, because it's like trying to swim out and rescue someone who's drowning, and they smack you because they're panicking. After a while, you realize, oh yeah, it wasn't intentional. They were just freaking out, and they didn't even realize they hit me. It had nothing to do with me. It had to do with their fear. And it was a cry for love. So everyone is crying out for this love that we can only find within ourselves. And we And like that song says, we look for love in all the wrong places out here, and those things disappoint us and eventually turn us all back inside. So I love that this energy here takes you on this little reflection back into some of your past emotions to understand them, and that it becomes this, like, you don't take it as personal as you did before. And we'll pull some more cards here to see what else the Creator wants you to know about this energy and these experiences of coming into it. All right, Creator, what else do you want our Libras to know? Okay, anything else? Okay, any others? Nope, I said these are it. Yeah, so if there's any doubt, here's the Ace of Cups. So here's the Ace of Cups that was offered there. So they're definitely saying, yeah, no question, cups, cups, cups. And here's the Ace of Cups. You're taking action on this love that you're realizing, and that's being poured onto you during this period. Yeah. And then you have the Moon. So this is, the waters here, and you have the little crawdad or lobster coming out of the water, and that's the unknown coming out of the water. So that can be coming out of your subconscious and your past experiences too. But the Moon really is about connecting to your higher self. It's like the High Priestess. She's the one that connects to the other world, to all of our support team that we connect to as we embrace this unconditional love that comes to us from inside. And also because you have a new moon symbol here, and this actually came out in the first reading too, during this period, I'd really look into the new moon that happens between August 8th and September 22nd, and just see what kind of messages come to you regarding that phase of the moon, and what it means there. Yeah, so that's the only other message with that. And then, yeah, and you got the Wheel of Fortune here. And I kind of mentioned about that everything happens for you. You realize as you're looking back here, and the Wheel of Fortune, it is the number 10, which is about endings and new beginnings, and life is always changing. The wheel is constantly moving in our lives. The world spins constantly and on its own axis, and it's constantly rotating around the sun, which the sun is rotating around our solar system is rotating around our galaxy, and our galaxy is rotating around other galaxies and stuff in the universe. Constant movement, and then every molecule within every thing in the physical room is vibrating. It's always moving. We just don't, we got used to it where we don't see everything is vibrating, right? So the world is constantly changing. And the other message that comes with the Wheel of Fortune is that before you come down to the planet, you as a soul meet with the Creator and all that posse I was talking about, of beings of unconditional love and light, and you determine, this is like the little map that says, okay, I'm going to choose to be born to this mother, these parents, these siblings and family line, in this area at this time in this country, all of that stuff that goes into that. And then this is when this character I'm going to play while I'm down here, or this avatar I'm going to inhabit while I'm down here on Earth, this is when it's going to leave the game or leave the stage. The actor still goes on, the player of the game still goes on eternity, because you're an eternal being. And then you plan out every event that you want to experience throughout this life. And so they make sure all those events happen and unfold, and then your human side still has free will within each of events, whatever happens. You get to decide what it means about you. And you can choose an extreme fear or an extreme feeling of unconditional love, or anything in between, and that's the journey that unfolds. And so all this, everything that happened in the past, when you realize that all this stuff happened for a reason, all these roots were happening for a reason, because you wanted to understand and experience all those things, then your life changes from that victim of that life happened to me, look all the stuff that happened to me, that you're like, look all the stuff that happened for me, and what did I learn from it, and how much more aware of who I really am I than I was before I went through all those things. So that's what it brings. And then coming into September 22nd, then you have, so you got the Eight of Cups. And usually, like a lot of Eight of Cups will show someone walking away, and obviously these were not fulfilling. They broke down. They didn't last. And so these are all the emotions, the things that no longer serve us that we're walking away from. So all these cups that we were talking about here, we look back and we're like, okay, it served its purpose, but I no longer need those as the major energy in my life anymore. So I'm walking away from those, and that's because you have this Ace of Cups in hand. You don't need these external cups that did not fulfill you, right? And then you have the Empress. So the Empress is all about new birth and growth. And here's that new moon we were talking about here. So I really feel, keep an eye on the new moons as they're coming, and full moons too, if you want to check those out. But the new moons are really standing out in this reading for you. And the 3 represents the Empress side. Interesting enough, she's also about, she's the Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, taking care of you. She's also the one of the few cards that represents sexuality and that freedom that comes with all of that. So because that was mentioned in those, that's why I'm mentioning that there, because it could be something that you've been closed off to and have strong opinions around. And it could be that there's something that allowing yourself to be intimate in different ways. And like it said, it doesn't need to be, necessarily sexual, but it does have this vulnerability, this feeling love, because the Empress, of course, is the divine feminine energy. So it's because of that self-nurturing. It's allowing yourself to feel loved, to feel sensual, to feel sexy, to feel desirable, and to birth new things and have this new birth in your life. In new ways. And you do, like I was talking about when I went through about the people pleasing, I felt like this was a new me being born, because I was so many things to so many people, I didn't even know who I was. And then I found my identity and who I wanted to be. And you'd still alter it. It's like Madonna. You reinvent yourself over and over and over and over and over as you discover things that you're like, oh, I think this is what I want. And you're like, not so much. This is what I like. Not so much. Let me alter it a little bit. And you just kind of evolve as you go through your life. And that's kind of what I'm feeling with that for you. And this is the freedom, like from expectations and from, all that burden of people pleasing and world pleasing, all those shoulds and woulds and coulds and need tos and have tos. Not coulds. Coulds is what you can replace should with, right? That's where you get your power. When someone goes, you should do that, and you're like, well, I could do that, but I don't have to. The should is like, this is what you really need to do, rather than here's a possibility. It's this is what a demand is what a should is. A could is a possibility. So, Creator, what else for September 22nd? Okay, to October 22nd. And you got the Six of Wands, and this is a beautiful energy because there's 2 sides of this. The physical world side is that you're going to have people expressing their pleasure in you. It's like you're being recognized, you're being congratulated, and I really love that, because in giving up people pleasing, people are pleased. And that's generally the way it works, because when you stop being a mat for people, they start appreciating what you were giving them when you stop giving it to them. And the other side, a spiritual side, is that you're recognized, that you are seen by the Creator, by the other side, that they see you for who you are and they're proud of you. and you're perfect in their sight. And so, it's a beautiful feeling. There's this one Light Seers Tarot deck that I have, and it shows like someone on a stage with like these hands that are almost transparent, like all these hands, and an audience out in front. And she's looking up toward a big spotlight that's shining down. So she's looking up with her hands like to the sky. I believe her hands are up. But it's about really telling me that, the people on the outside, that their praise, that their acceptance became very empty, and then what's full and whole is what you get from above, which of course comes through this Ace of Cups. So that's just what this card reiterates here. And then you have the Page of Cups. So again, you have this Ace of Cups being offered during the month as a reminder, and this renewed feeling. Pages are often messengers, so because the cups are emotion and we're talking about love, you get messages of love from above. So you definitely are getting that connection with the moon, and you're getting these affirmations and like synchronistic things coming in, like God winks. Sometimes people call it that, where you're like, oh my gosh, all these same things. I got the same message from 5 different people or 5 different ways. And it's all about, what the Creator thinks of me, and about, making sure you look up and know that you are loved, things like that. And the page also represents kind of like this childlike feel that you go back to, where you, before, when you're a young child and you don't get that praise and punishment, where people are saying, bad girl, good girl, bad boy, good boy, where your emotions are flowing and you're being yourself, and you don't feel that suppression and that fears that kick in. And that's where our people pleasing really starts to ignite when we're young, is when, if people aren't pleased with me, I don't get what I want and I get punished. I don't get to play. I have to stand in a corner. So if I please people, then I get what I want. And that's how that foundation has started. And so this is all about returning back to the feeling before that, where you don't feel that pressure to please others, because you're finding that you're having this unconditional love that happens. So you can't lose it. There's nothing you can do to gain any more of it, because you have it all. And there's nothing you can do to lose it, because there's no condition for it. So it's a beautiful reflection of that. And then you have the Knight of Swords. Swords are your beliefs, your thoughts, your mentality, your mindsets. And so the Knight is about movement. And so this is movement of thoughts. And with this new love and this new foundation that you have, it really starts to impact, and there starts to be movement in your beliefs about yourself and about the world. So you start to have this shift. The emotions start impacting your thoughts. And so there's this, kind of ripple effect that happens within you, and you're starting to question your thoughts, which brings you into, because he has he's carrying the Ace of Swords in his hand, which is what you use to cut away old thoughts. It also represents new thoughts. So a movement of new things coming in, new beliefs, especially. Then October 22nd comes. Yep, not a surprise. So you got the 8 of Wands. Wands is your energy, your initiative, your drive, your passions. And that's on the physical side. So you get this zap, and it comes sudden, and it comes flooding in, and you have so much of it. And it makes total sense that all this energy you were investing in the outside world to please all these people, when it's cut off, and you start all that energy that was being sent out is all within you, and it all has, as you discover all these things that bring you joy and passion and ecstasy and everything, that you're like, I'm pouring my energy into what brings me joy. And it just feels like you are just overflowing, because you're not, like these are not all these tubes at the bottom of your barrel of energy sucking you dry everywhere else. You've closed all those off and you're being full and then overflowing for other people. It also represents, because wands for me represent, your fire. It also represents spirit. And so this, for me, is saying that you're going to get messages from outside, from the spirit world. You have this lightning bolt coming from the heavens, bringing you messages and energy as well. So, you continue to get these messages as we were talking about here, with the moon and with the Knight of Swords, that you're getting this new information coming in. And then we're going to pull some more cards here, of course. See what else the Creator wants you to know about October 22nd to November 21st. I'm sorry, I said Knight of Swords, but it was the Page of Cups. That page is the messenger of those new emotions, of that messages of love. So you got the Moon, the Page of Cups, and now the Eight of Wands. And what else, Creator, for October 22nd to November 21st? Okay, that one and that one. Yeah. So you got the Fool, which this is a great card because for me, it represents like new beginnings, a new journey in that. But for me, it also represents the soul, because here's your higher self. This is your little animal, human fight or flight side, the human side of our body, and it's all jumping down into, down to the earth to have our experience. And so this is about connecting to your soul and realizing who you really are. You see the higher picture, you understand that this was an adventure that you came down for, that it's not a punishment and an accident that you're here. I mean, he's totally packed and ready for his journey, right? And I apologize if you hear the garbage truck or recycle truck. It's both today, and so it could be either one of those. There we go. And then here's the Chariot, which this is all about decision making. You got the, you also have like your shadow side and you have your spirit side. And so this is about, you get to make decisions every moment, including both of them. Not just one of them runs in a chariot and the other one stands still. That doesn't work very well. Both are running and pull you in a direction. And one follows the other, or one follows the other. And we come here to experience our shadow and all this experience, so our spirit will follow and go where our ego wants us to go in times, and to experience the life we came here to experience, like we were talking about with the Wheel of Fortune and everything. It knows the way, and so we go on it. But then we can also make these changes in our life where our spirit helps direct us. And maybe we don't go as deep, like we were talking about every second. Any event that happens, you get to choose an extreme unconditional love or an extreme fear. That is about the choices that you make. Because with the Major Arcana, this is card number 7. If you took the Fool out, with the Major Arcana and set it to the side, you'd have 3 rows of 7, and the first row is all about our ego experience, our human experience, and the 7 is the finality of that before we move into the Strength card, which is about moving on to a spiritual path, this joining of our shadow side with our higher self, to have a more spiritual experience while we're here, not just a pure fear, fight or flight, human passion experience. And so with all these messages, this energy coming in, you're just experiencing that and working through that, becoming aware of it, which brings you into November 21st. So, yeah. Ace of Cups. So we come full circle. Ace of Cups here, Ace of Cups here. You got the Ace of Cups on the Page of Cups. So it all comes full circle here, where you fully are embracing this unconditional love from the other side. You fully are understanding what makes you feel whole, what you are truly thirsting and quenching. So Creator, what else do you want them to know about November 21st to December 21st? Okay. Anything else? Okay, these two. So you get the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles is like this realization that you do have everything that you need inside of you. You know, you understand that you have your mind sets here about abundance, and you've got your foundation in abundance, but you really find the abundance comes from within you. And so that's this awareness. It's a huge transition when you connect to this Ace of Cups, because when you realize you have everything you need inside you, like we talked about, everything outside of you is extra. And you realize that with this Four of Pentacles, because the four is like a foundation of a table. It's very solid. So you're understanding your worth a lot more, and how the worth works in the outside world. You can see the cities on either side that have their own opinions. All these people pleasers are out there going, no, this is what it means to be successful. This is what you should do with your life. This is what it means to be rich, and like I said, abundant. And you have this new viewpoint that comes, and a lot of peace comes with it. You don't have as a strong drive to obtain all these external things, because you're finding everything you need inside you. So you're able just to flow with the river and flow with the stream instead of swim against it. Yeah, because here you go, Nine of Pentacles. You're in your garden. You're with your winged support team. You're all by yourself, understanding the fruits, that you have everything that you need. This is what this is all about. She's in her own private garden. There's not anyone else around. She's just has enough for her, and that's all that she cares about. And she feels whole and complete, and that's the success. She has the fruits of her labor, and she's happy with that. Yeah. And then I talked about the Hierophant, the Emperor and the Hierophant, where actually I might have talked about that in the first reading, but the Hierophant is number 5, and that comes after the Empress. So after the Empress, which is like we talked about, feeling free and being able to be yourself, and nature just unfolds and you go with the flow and the Emperor comes in and is like, well, if we're going to be together in a city, we have to have some rules to live by so we all don't kill each other. And here's the narrow road we all have to follow. And it started off in our best interest, just so we could get along and not, like I said, kill each other. But then power, came in. So the suppression and the rules got more and more, and, did all that. And so that's a suppressive feeling. All those expectations of shoulds and supposed tos and all that stuff kicked in. Well, the Hierophant did the same thing, but they did it for our spiritual life, like how you express yourself spiritually. So organized religions, popped up in a variety of different ways. And I don't diss society and the organized religions. It's a very important and beautiful part of our journey to feel that, and they have good intentions on it. And like for organized religions, sometimes for some of us, that's the only way we even knew a God or something else existed besides our fear-based world. And so it's a wonderful introduction for a personal relationship with, your universe, the creator, whatever you believe your higher source is. You get to, connect that. And this card, though, pops up as just an awareness of that the world of spirituality is limitless and boundless. The only thing that binds us is ourselves. The only limitations that come are the ones that we put on it. And so this is a big awareness that comes around during this period of time too, because the external world, you start to be going with the flow and understanding and not freaking out and having this drive for all that. You're doing a lot of inner journeying. And when you work on connecting to the higher realms, you start hitting the gates that are there going, oh, no, you're not allowed past this. This is the belief that you were told when you were younger, right? No, only holy priests can go beyond this, or you will die. That's like in the tabernacle in the Old Testament. It's like, and they used to even tie a rope around those priests in case they weren't pure and they dropped dead. They would drag them back from the curtain. And so there's this, all these beliefs that were like, and they question those. And as you question them, they fall away. And then you go forward until you hit another gate, and like, oh, you're not worthy enough, or you have to do this ritual first before you do that, or you have to take these 18 classes before you're able to go past this way, and we can question that and move past it. And so that's what this is all about as well. But this is great. I'm really liking how this is unfolding for you. And the last card we're going to pull here is from yet again another Wild Unknown deck. I really love these decks, and it's a companion deck to these two. But this one's the Wild and Unknown Animal Spirit deck. And this is going to tell you what spirit guide or spirit animal energy is going to be with you from August 8th all the way up till at least the winter solstice. And so let's give this a shuffle here. All right, Critter. What spirit guide is going to be with our beautiful Libras that chose the orange leaf, please? Okay. That is the one. And you got the mouse. And I love all the little orbs that are flying around you here. That's all your support team from the other side as well that are supporting you on this journey. So you're definitely not alone. And yeah, I know with the moon and like I said, the Page of Cups, the Fool is attaching to the other side, and then of course the Ace of Cups you have all over the place. You're definitely connecting to the other side. So let's see what our little mouse is going to bring for you here. So the little mouse is detail-oriented, small-minded, nitpicky, and nervous. So the mouse has an innate desire to tend to the details. It often spends its day fixing, preparing, organizing, and scrutinizing. Unfortunately, a mouse personality doesn't notice when they've gone too far. Soon they begin to have a limited and fearful vision of life and try to control every detail. This can be quite a painful experience for both the mouse and those around them. So when mouse energy is at play, step back for a moment. It may be a time to find a more purposeful project to delve into, one that's worthy of your exacting eye. And when you're in balance with this mouse energy, you're organized, you're resourceful, you're prepared. When you're out of balance with this mouse, you're busy with no purpose, right? People pleasing. And to bring yourself into balance with this energy, it says a meaningful project, which that meaningful project is you. And what I feel is this mouse energy, the mouse is like this indicator and a reminder for you. So with the animal spirit guides that we have, there's kind of like two flavors that come with them. One is that they have all these beautiful gifts that flow so well with our path, and that they help us and assist us alongside us with that energy and that strength they have. And the other one is like you have examples in your life of who you can be, and maybe who you probably is not good to be, so you have the good example and the bad example. Not that there's judgment in those, but the mouse shows you the craziness. And so when the mouse appears, it is a message for you to go, oh, am I being unfocused, and I'm just focusing on my energy and being busy and running around like a mouse out of control. You know how you have them where they're just freaking out, or a mouse in a maze that just seems to never end. So if you see a mouse in real life, but like if you see a mouse anywhere in your life, whether it's in the physical form or in social media or in a movie, or even if you put pictures of a mouse around as a reminder for you during autumn to come back to the most important project, which is you. Okay, you put the you in mouse. I just saw that. So Wonderful. I mean, this is so perfect. So you're going to be surrendering to people pleasing throughout this autumn period, focusing in and really getting to know who you are and what you want. And, as you find this Ace of Cups, obviously this is all over the place, as you find that inner love for yourself, that's what transforms your whole journey and makes it so much more pleasing than this ever was. And just know, obviously, as you go through each and every day of your life, but especially during this autumn, just remember that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. So you have an amazing autumn, and I know I'll definitely be talking to you soon. So you take care, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right, my Libras, if you chose reading number 3, which is the yellow leaf reading, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to pull a card here from the Power of Surrender cards. And what this is going to represent is what the Creator wants you to know about what's falling away out of your life during this month of autumn. And then, don't worry, immediately we're going to also look at what energy is going to be coming in as that leaves. So there's never like an empty space. As that energy leaves, new energy moves in right behind it. And that's what we're going to be looking at as well. So let me give these a good shuffle. And let's see what the Creator has in store for you with this messages today. All right, Creator, for our Libra who have chosen the yellow leaf, what do you want them to know about what's falling away in this autumn? Okay, there we go. You got surrender to passion. Beautiful card. And it says, get out of your head and feel the fire in your belly. Focus on the people or activities that ignite your passion and let it flow. So yeah, you're going to be letting go of those blocks that are keeping you from living the life that you want, living your passions, your joy, what makes your heart sing. So this is perfect. I love that. And then we're going to pull a card here from the Wild Unknown archetype. And this is going to represent, of course, like I said, as that energy, as those blocks fall away and you embrace and surrender to your passions, not those expectations and all those supposed to be's and shoulds and all that stuff. What does that bring into your life? All right, Creator, so what do you want our Libras to know about this energy that comes in, this new passion energy? And they said this is the top one here. There we go. Oops. And so this is the healer. And I love that imagery there. Very interesting. Let's read about that here. And that is card number 25. Or XXV for those who don't enjoy Roman numerals. But this is the light worker, the gifted, the old soul. Beautiful. Though some claim the work of the healer as their gift and name it as their dharma, the force of this archetype is within everyone. It's our natural inclination to remember, to return to, and to reclaim that central and eternal force from which we so easily drift away. In Sanskrit, the word avidya, A-V-I-D-Y-A, I probably murdered that, my apologies. It means forgetting. And it is said that this is the source of all suffering and dis-ease. The healer's mission then becomes to move through the comfort of forgetting, through the veils of ignorance and denial, to reveal the radiance that already exists. So the healer approaches this in multiple ways, from multiple angles, knowing the cycle of healing is not linear. It's multi-layered and circuitous process, always leading back to its own origin. much like the Ouroboros, Ourobor, which I'm not sure what that is. Maybe that's the snakes, how it leads it back. Always leads it back to its tail, maybe. I'll have to look at that. It says the wounded healer is not someone who was wounded and is now healed. It is someone who continues to courageously break open the self and ego as a means for deep integration. The image of the serpent, there we go, is eternally tied to healing and medicine. Both Western, with the, I think it's the snakes intertwining, and I apologize, I don't know how to say that word, but it's Caduceus. So, and then also the Eastern Kundalini study, the serpent, and so it says study the serpent and its power. Because when you're in the light energy of this, you're self-contained, you're grateful, you're awake. And when you're in the darker energy of this, you're tired, needy, and you're forgetting your own practice. To go deeper, it says to look into Asclepius. It's Asclepius, ear, E-I-R, or Dhanvantari, which is Dhanvantari. So if you Google any of those, then you can see what resonates with you if you feel so inclined to do so. But definitely this is about surrendering to your inner passions, to your true self, to what truly makes your heart sing, to who you truly are. So instead of, like it was talking about here, instead of being in your head with all those expectations of how things are supposed to be, feel the fire in your belly, which is like the Kundalini energy. It's at the base of our spine and it moves up through us, the fire that's within us. And so focus on people, activities that ignite that in you and let it flow. Don't hold it back. And you'll find, at least in my life, that the outer things tend to make me feel heavier, whereas the inner things tend to make me feel lighter. We're going to, of course, dig more deeper into this. And we're going to be pulling these cards here from the Wild Unknown Tarot, which is the companion deck to this. And we're going to be pulling 4 sets of cards here. One's going to be from the Lionsgate portal, that energy that came in on August 8th. So from 8/8 all the way up to September 22nd. This is going to be what the Creator wants you to know about the energy and experiences you've had since then that you're bringing into the autumn equinox period. And then we're going to pull a card here from September 22nd up to October 22nd, and then a card here for October 22nd to November 21st. It goes back a day because there's 31 days in October, so it steps it back a day. And then it'll be November 21st up to December 21st, which will be up to the winter solstice. So we're going to give these a little shuffle here, and we'll see what the Creator wants you to know about each one of those. All right, Creator. So first for this Lionsgate up to September 22nd. Okay. Yep, you got the World card here. That's so hilarious. Okay, and then for September 22nd. And then October 22nd. Okay. Wow, these cards are speaking very fast for you. And then November 21st, please. Okay. All 3 of those. Wow, a lot of messages. So that's good, though. We love as much information as we can get for this little maze that we're in, right? And then we will pull clarification cards from this Everyday Tarot for each of these sections as well. And I love that your first card starts off being the World, because usually the World, and I don't think this one shows it, but it usually has like a snake, a lot like this, where it's eating itself. And it's usually, this is about major completion of a cycle and moving into something else. And so this is beautiful because this is like this movement that you're coming into, realizing who you really are, and that all this external stuff you've been dealing with, that's in your head, hasn't been bringing you any passion at all. It's like it's been so disappointing that you're almost numb to even a lot of that stuff out there. And so this is a new igniting of a passion for you. And this is like the end of the deck, usually, of the major arcana, where you start over with the full on a new adventure, which totally makes sense for this, because with you coming to the end of this, searching on the outside for things, you're like, I need something else. There's got to be something else, and this is what comes. So all this energy's been teaching you that. And let's see what else the Creator has for you. Just clarification on this energy and this new beginning. Completion of a major cycle, for sure. All right, Creator. Okay. Anything else? I tell you, your cards are just flying out. The other readings, they were like sticking out, but yours are like, pah! All right, so you got the Page of Swords, which makes total sense, because the sword that he holds is the Ace of Swords, which is about new thoughts, new ideas, new ways of thinking, new attitudes, new mindsets. So it's totally with this. And the page brings you messages. So you're going to have messages be dropping into your head, thoughts, creative ideas, new things headed your way. And so the page also represents, like, for me, the page is like children. And you go back to this place of thoughts and beliefs, like before you went through the conditioning of a child, right? If you can remember back, like even like when we're like 2 or 3 years old, where people can try to tell us how things are supposed to be, and we just don't go, whatever. What are you doing, trying to, suppress the freedom of this being that we really are, right? But then through praise and punishment, we start to develop all these other swords, all these other expectations and thoughts in our mind that end up suppressing us and confusing us and taking us on this beautiful journey that we came down here to experience. But this is about, returning back to that feeling before you felt so constricted and restricted, where there's so many possibilities out there, right? So you have all, like, your mind just opens up to more beliefs, letting old things go, letting old beliefs go, and making room for new beliefs. Yeah, and then you have Justice here. And here again, you have this, she's carrying the Ace of Swords as well. So a lot of power there. But I love the balance here. And of course, I think this card might have come up for all 3 of my Libra readings for this reading, which makes sense because you are the scales. And for me, though, this is the balance between the physical world and the spiritual world. And this is totally what is going on here. You have your physical world, all those external passions that left you never quenching your thirst, never fulfilling you. And now you're on this spiritual journey inward, finding what really is making you whole. So that is the journey that you're ending. And it's like this beautiful the major arcana in tarot takes you on this journey of the first 7 cards from 1 to 7 are about understanding your ego and your human life, and then you go through 8 to 14 is all about your understanding your spiritual side, and then you end up going up to 15 through 21 is all about your spiritual balance between your spiritual side and your ego side, and you're able to join together and hold hands on this journey, not just having an either or experience, but you're able to experience both together at the same time. And I really feel that with this balance that's coming up, you're kind of in that second phase where you're really understanding your spiritual side, because that's what this is talking about, is returning to remember who you really are. And so you're entering that stage in that place. And not only do you have the Page of Swords, you have the Page of Cups. So here's the Ace of Cups, which represents the unconditional love that we're searching for, that which makes us feel whole and complete. You are getting messages. Pages, again, are messengers. So you're getting messages of love, probably from above, because of the Ace of Cups. So they're bringing you messages. But again, the page, like this other page, is you go back to those feelings you had, that feeling of freedom. So you had freedom of thought before, that conditioning started, and you had freedom of feelings too. And so, I know feelings and thoughts are so intertwined in our human existence that it makes sense that you're experiencing new thought with this new discovery I'm going into here. Which brings you to September 22nd as you move into the Autumn Equinox, and you've got the Four of Pentacles here. And this is about, four is a solid foundation in your worth. Because you can think of four legs on a table. It's a very much more stable table than a three-footed table or two or one. It's a stronger foundation. And you're also understanding how your worth is so intertwined with the external things before, because you can see all the strings that are attached that make worth move around in the external world. So this is the awareness that comes because, like we said, with all these passions, when we're defining ourselves by the outside with all these things, those are the things that are disappointing and unstable and short-lived. Yeah. And then you have the Son of Pentacles, which the Son of Pentacles in a regular deck is like the Knight of Pentacles, and it's the only knight that's slow moving. And the other three are action, 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 where this one is all boop, ba-doop, 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 just shy, taking its time, not rushing in, checking things out like a deer does. And so this is, with this Pentacles and this worth, it's like, it's not this rush of, changing these things. It's not like this overnight process. And then it's just this message to know that it's going to take a little bit of time just to let things unfold. And that is the message that comes with this card for you, is just take one step at a time. Don't, try to do 10 things, remove 10 things and, or transform 10 things in your life at the same time. Just take one step at a time as you go through this process. Because that's, like hatching an egg. It takes time for it to grow. You don't crack it open and go, oh, it's still a yolk. Well, you have to let it grow. It has to get fertilized and has to be sat on and warmed and incubated. And over time, it develops and turns and da-da-da. But if you take it out too early, all you're going to have is some scrambled eggs. Yeah. And then this is just your message of 10 of Pentacles, is that, yes, success is guaranteed, abundance is guaranteed. This is like a legacy card too, in that not only are you bringing yourself fulfillment, all this beautiful journey that you're on and this transformation that you're going through during this autumn equinox it pours out of you into other people's lives too. In fact, it's also this kind of energy of there's been these cycles in your life. Usually there's like a lot of the tarot decks I have, it shows like a tree, like a family tree as well, because it's usually about like a legacy card. The changes that you're doing are impacting future generations. And so for me, it's like, especially with this healer mentioned here, it's you are changing the aspect of things. You're breaking chains, ancestral chains, things that have been passed down from generation to generation. There's some things that are not for the most benefit of your family tree, which could be some sort of abuses of some kind or belief systems of some kind, even extreme attachment to success like finances and positions or ranks in military, anything like that. This is about you are the generation that gets to break those chains, and not just for your bloodline, but for other people's trees as well. So you're, moving into other trees in the orchard, not just sticking to your family tree, as far as the impact that you have with this movement that you're going to be going through. And then we'll see what else the Creator wants you to know here. About September 22nd to October 22nd. All right, what else? And those two. Yep, so you got the Fool. So like I talked about, the world. So you've reached the end of a cycle, and then this is when you begin the new cycle. So I had mentioned that, the Fool is the beginning. It's the zero. So you've reached the end, and now you're ready for the new one. And it, for me, it also represents the soul. Like, this is your soul, your spirit. This is our human side of us. And we jump off the cliff to come down to the earth to experience this path and this adventure and this journey. So we didn't come here by accident. We came here on purpose, for a purpose. Yeah. And then here, like I said about the Ace of Cups, here's that Ace of Cups. So definitely connection to the upper realm, connecting to that unconditional love that you find inside. So with the Fool, with this one, it's definitely a very, I would say, transformative month, but it's this awareness month. It's like, especially with that Knight of Pentacles, I don't see like a ton of external change, some change of mindsets because of this Page of Swords here that's coming, the energy's coming in with that. But I really just feel like you're becoming aware more and more of that there's this higher realm, and that you are more than just this human form, and it's just really exciting for you because that connection's coming. Yeah. And then you have the Eight of Pentacles. So you have a lot of pentacles going on here, and this is about taking a step at a time, continue to do the work. You don't even realize how much you've worked on about your worth and about who you are, because a lot of people will keep checking their progress, focusing their definition on the progress that they're making. But you have been really enjoying digging in to getting to know yourself and how this new realm and this new you, who this is. And so you just been like, you haven't been paying attention. It's like, I don't know why I just saw sushi rolls. It's like, you just been enjoying these sushi rolls, and you haven't even been keeping track of how many you've eaten because they're just so good and you're enjoying it so much. You just have lost track of time, and lost track of keeping count, which is great for you, because usually Libras, in your physical form, is the little doggy, the human side. The Libra will keep count because it needs to make sure it's getting equal weight, and it's things are being balanced correctly. And it's a great energy to come in here to October 22nd. Let's see what energy comes in then. Oh, yep. So you have the Tower. So don't freak out. The Tower is about change, about transformation. Things that no longer serve you are being removed out of your life for you. And let me tell you the story that comes with this Tower for me, because it really is about this journey as well. So before you come down here, as you're this soul here, you meet with all your posse of support, the Creator, the Spirit, your guardian angels and spirit guides and ancestors and loved ones you're going to experience down here and interact with. And you all get together and you decide, okay, this is when I'm going to be born. This is when I'm going to leave, this character I'm going to play is going to leave the stage. And these are all the things I'm going to experience as I go along in life. And so there's all these events that are planned, and then your support team goes, all right, this is what we're going to make sure we have happen. And then when you come down here, each time you experience something, you still have the free will of this human side. And no matter what happens, you are the one that gets to decide what it's going to mean about you, what emotions you're going to feel, and you're going to choose extreme fear or extreme unconditional love or somewhere in between. And you get to experience all that as you're going along. Well, also what happens outside of all that when we're getting to the Tower here is that there's an event, like there's something in your life that is here that would block you experiencing these other things that you want to experience in life. And it could be, things that don't feel as loving as you want them, but it's because you came here to experience and grow from things, right? And what the Tower does is we have a countdown before the the tower is hit by lightning, and so we have a chance to jump out of the tower and remove it out of our lives before this happens. So it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, and then, as it gets closer, it gets louder. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's really loud, and then if we haven't jumped out of the tower and removed it from our lives, then it is removed for us, and that's when the lightning burns it down. But it makes room like this. When this is burnt down, it makes room for the new to come in, what we want to experience. And sometimes we don't jump out before it because we want to experience everything up into that exact moment, and that is totally okay. So don't judge yourself when you have tower moments. It just changes our whole perspective that life happens for me, it doesn't happen to me. And then, and you have the devil, which comes right before the tower. And don't forget about the devil either, because this is our shadow side. This is what, and I'm actually going to put it right underneath here, because our shadow brings to our face the thing that needs to be removed. So that is the countdown person that is telling us, hey, do you know this thing is an obstacle? I have this obstacle in front of you. Do you know that? There's this obstacle, and it tells us each time. It goes like 5, 4, it's still there. Do you realize it's there? Look what I have in front of you. And it's not subtle at all, because you'll notice it, because you'll have 5 exact same situations happen. Like I've had it happen either to myself, where I've had interactions with 5 different people and it all felt the same, whether it's like a friend calling, over this, like over a matter of 7 to 10 days, I had a friend who lost their husband, a friend who lost their father, a friend whose neighbor passed away, another friend whose a friend of theirs tried taking their life. And so when you have all that happen, it's like an obvious message of, okay, what I see, you're trying to tell me something, and then that's when you step away and you go, okay, what is blocking me? What message are you trying to get across to me, right? And so that's what that happens, is they bring it to our face to let us know what can be removed out of our life to open the flow to something new, right? And so that's going to continue to happen here they're going to be bringing you more specific messages about what can be removed out of your life to open you up even more to this of who you truly are. Yeah, because then you have the Hanged Man, which is all about the seeing things from a different perspective, connecting to your higher self, like it's been talking about. And then you definitely see the new perspective of things. And this tower definitely shows that to you. In a couple ways. One, like the message that I told you about how life works and about how life, all these events happen for you and not to you. But it also shows you the perspective on, as you experience these, the Ace of Cups, that we have here and that they're bringing you here. When you experience that love, you realize how unfulfilling and how thirsty these other passions and other things leave you feeling afterwards. It's like being thirsty, and I'm gonna get a soda, and you drink a soda, it's full of sodium with salt, which makes you thirstier, and then you finish drinking it, you're like, I'm even thirstier than I was before I started. That's kind of the feeling it has, until then you drink some nice delicious cold water that quenches your thirst, and you're like, oh, it's so good. And that's the different perspective it gives you. Is like, why am I even wanting that? And so that's what it brings. We're also going to pull some more cards here, and they said don't shuffle, so I won't. And we'll see what additional messages do you have for October 22nd to November 21st, please. but it is a month of great awareness, yeah, which makes sense. So 5 of Wands. Wands is your fire, your spiritual side too, which for me, this is about, moving to another level. Because in the physical world, we would see this type of energy from the ego as altercations and conflict and, that type of chaotic feel. But in the spiritual realm, we then see, when we see from this, viewpoint of how life is unfolding for us, then we understand that this is just all a practice. We're not at war. We're, doing war games to prepare for battle, for growth. It's all for our growth and our expansion. And then so you realize that, again, it's kind of that message of this event is happening for me to help me grow. It's not happening to me. I'm not being attacked. It's for my development and for my growth and my understanding. So beautiful. And then coming into November 21st, you have the Daughter of Wands, which would be the Page of Wands. So you got the Page of Swords, the Page of Cups, and now you got this new beautiful energy that's coming in. So because the Daughter of Wands is like the Page of Wands, it is about Wands for me is spirit, like I was talking about. So this is messages from spirit, messages of love from above, or messages from above from spirit. And it's also about this new that feeling, again, with the pages going back to a child when you felt this connection to spirit before it's suppressed. And that's why children, young children, often see relatives who are passed on the spiritual side. And I believe it was Wayne Dyer, I might be wrong, but there was, I think it was him that said he loved when parents would step away, leaving them with a toddler, because he would ask them, so tell me about God, what's God like? And it was amazing the things he would hear, because they haven't forgotten yet a lot of stuff. They still have a stronger connection than we do after all the noise comes in of all these expectations and all of this stuff, comes in. It's so loud we don't hear the whispers from the other side, the whispers of love, because all we hear is the fear noise. And so this is about returning back to that beautiful connection, that beautiful clarity. So that means there's a lot of silence in your life, a lot of peace in your life, because you're able to connect at that level. Instead of being the lower love vibrations with fear, you're at the higher vibrations of unconditional love and joy and peace and laughter. So that is more your energy as you come in November 21st to December 21st. Beautiful. And so the Strength card. And I think we were talking about, I'm not sure I was talking about it in this one here, but I'll talk about the Strength card, because the Strength card, when you're looking at the soul here, this little animal that's jumping down here, that's what this is. The lion represents, for me, is our human side. The being, or human being side of us that hungers and thirsts, and it's taught to go outside here, to get its food and its water, and whatever it eats and whatever it drinks, like we said, doesn't quench it. So it's becomes very hangry, which is hungry, angry, and it's roaring in the jungle, just in desperate plea for assistance. And usually there's like a female along with the lion, either sticking their hand in the lion's mouth or comforting it or doing something with the lion. And here it's represented by the sun, because the infinite symbol is about our higher self, our infinite self, right? And that is what brings us our inner strength. What the lion is searching for is love, and is searching for the Ace of Cups, the unconditional love of the Creator, right? And so our higher self comes and comforts the lion, and it doesn't do it by trying to cage it or kill it with a sword or beat it into submission with a chair and whip. It comes down and it gives it the unconditional love that it is, because that is what calms the lion. It changes it from this roaring lion in the jungle to a purring little pussycat. But this is this is the combination. This is showing that your higher self brings in the love that you've been searching for all along, which is this whole process moving from here. This is the hungry lion, and this brings in your higher self, which you remember who you really are, this infinite being, and that's what brings you that beautiful quenching waters. And then you have the Ace of Pentacles. So new beginnings, new possibilities, which makes total sense because you can see when you cut the tree of your life in half and you look at all the rings, you can see everything that happened throughout your life. And it's always bringing you back to center. It's always bringing you back to you. Because that's the real you in the middle. And but those possibilities are just, it just opens up. Like, I think, yeah, so I was going to say, I don't think we had the page, didn't have the Page of Pentacles in this one for you, but that's what, this is about new beginnings, new opportunities. Pentacles are about the external world, so you're going to start to see as this love fills you up and overflows outside of you, as this remembrance of who you really are, this infinite being, this eternal being, this universal being, that you, just your thoughts and your flow bring in opportunities, your manifestation of because it's grounded in your power, come very fast. And so pay attention to what you're thinking and wanting and putting out there, because there's going to be power behind it. I'm reading this book right now, and I forget who the author is, but it's like the 33 steps to your higher self. And it talks about this. When you get to that point, if you go, oh, my life is, crap. They said the giant, they called it the goo-goo bird or something like that. The giant goo-goo bird lets a giant dump on your head from above, because that's what you wanted. That's what you put out there. And you get this manifestation of what you put out there. So, and it's like, oh, yeah, pay attention to what you're focusing on. All right, and then we'll see what else the Creator wants you to know about November 21st to December 21st. But a very magical month of manifestation. Whatever you put your mind and energy to comes to you quickly. Yeah. What else? Anything else? Okay. That one too. And last pass. Anything else? Okay, nope, that's it. So you got the Judgment card, which, again, another message. There's a few cards in the deck that are about remembering who you really are. This is like the rapture, the human side of you raising from the dead out of the coffin, being called by Spirit to come be who you really are. So that's exactly what this card was telling you as well, is this is the old human side of you dying in a way and rising up. And it's card number 20, which is XX, which is the one that comes right before the world. So and then you've got the Chariot. And so this is about, that every moment you can make a decision between your higher self and your human self. This is about your ability to make choices. Every second is a choice of either fearing losing conditional love or of unconditional love. And you can see that the tapestry above him is the universe, and so the universe does oversee, like we're talking about in the Tower, the unfolding of our lives. But no matter what happens in our life, this is the reminder: you get to choose what it means. That is your power of your higher self and your human side. You get to decide what it means about you. Is it going to be something of light, of unconditional love extreme, or an extreme of fear, right? Yeah, and then you have the Hierophant. And the Hierophant represents your spiritual limitations that you've put on yourself, that you've taken on from the outside. The Empress, the 3, this is number 5. So number 3 that comes before this card is the Empress, and she's all about nature and freedom and the flowing of just how life happens, and it's very open and free, like the fields. And then the number 4 is the Emperor, who says, you're going to come into cities, and you're going to have so many people living together. We got to have rules, and society is born, and these rules are put in place with pure intentions in the beginning, so that we wouldn't kill each other and get along with each other, and we could, not die of dysentery and all this kind of stuff. And then, of course, the human ego gets involved, and power, hunger, comes in, and society totally changes in different ways, adds a bunch of extra rules for power purposes, not just for survival purposes. Well, the Hierophant comes after that, and they do the same thing with spirituality. And so both society and organized religion have a beautiful place and a beautiful part in our journey. And they teach us, what it feels like to have limitation and to have rules and to feel less and unworthy, and there's all that kind of stuff that's built into all those rules. And so I'm not dissing any of those at all. The card just represents the awareness of the spiritual blocks that you have, because as you're going through this journey and headed toward this, there really are these barriers that you hit with these beliefs, but you also have the keys to get through each of those barriers, each of those gates, to allow you to go past those limitations. A big one, like for me, when my earlier religious upbringing, laying tarot cards or oracle cards or anything even similar to this is thought of as of the devil and demonic, and should be totally avoided. But when this entered into my life, it intrigued me and I was attracted to it. And so I did, consult the Creator and said, hey, this is what I heard, but why is there this desire in there for me? And as I started to use them, I go, why are they bringing me such clear messages about, clarity of life, to bring us closer to the Creator, to help us, move things out of our lives that are blocking us. And the Creator told me, he's like, what? I communicate in so many ways on the planet. And he goes, any tool, it depends on who is yielding it, determines if it's going to be something of light or something of fear and pain and darkness. He goes, a knife can be used to cut bread, to hand out to hungry people. It can be used to, spread something on something. It can be used to cut down branches for firewood. It can be used to cut someone's rope to allow them to escape and be free instead of being, kidnapped and confined. Or it can be used to stab someone and hurt them or kill them, and he goes, depends on who's using it and to what intent is what it is. And so this, was such a huge change for me with this Hierophant energy. It was like, okay, that restriction, I've been reading cards for a couple decades now, and the messages that have come through have been transforming for me, for the own readings that I do, and everything I learn as I'm doing readings for other people, as the messages that come through, I get to cheat and glean off of all the messages that are coming through other people. And then everyone that we've done readings for, it brings such beautiful messages that does connect us further more to the other side. So, this is that kind of experience it's talking about, is question those things that you feel are like you're hitting up against as you take steps more back to this, who you are. All right, and then lastly, we're going to pull from another Wild Unknown deck. I know I have 3 of them, and they're beautiful. I love all of them, but these are the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Guide. And so what this is going to represent is what animal spirit energy or animal spirit is going to be with you from August 8th all the way through to at least the winter solstice. So we'll see what spirit animal is going to be by your side, or at least in your life to help you on your path here. All right, Creator, for our Libras, that shows the yellow leaf. What spirit animal are going to be with them? What spirit energy? Okay, so this is it here. Oh, beautiful. I love dolphins. So you got the dolphin. And they are such a beautiful, I love circle, 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 circle. So some definite synchronicities there. Let me just find the dolphin in here. They're not in alphabetical order. There we go. So I love this. So innately intelligent, and no kidding, healer. Can't make it up. The healer, and this is, they're a healer. They're light. They bring blessings. The gifts of the dolphin are beyond what our human minds can grasp. Dolphin personalities are often drawn to the healing arts as they are sensitive to the subtle and enjoy working on the level of spirit. It's easy for dolphin types to underestimate the impact they make in the world. These creatures play such an important role in the wheel of karma that coming in contact with a dolphin type will change the entire course of your day and thus your life. This card can also indicate a profound blessing is on the way. So when you're in balance with the dolphin energy, you're an active healer, and you have strong spiritual practice. When you're out of balance with this dolphin energy, you underestimate your own power. And to bring this energy into balance, connect with like-minded spirits. So definitely connect to the higher realms or people that have that same type of dolphin type energy. And I love that. What a perfect companion for your journey here. They definitely will accompany you. They know the way. It's their essence. So, if you see dolphins in real life, wherever you may be, count that as your dolphin guide, bringing you messages and bringing you back to this power of you, to focus on you instead of these outside passions, to come back to this power of you. And then also, if you see them on the internet or wherever they come across your way, even if you I've been telling in each kind of reading here and there, just print out a picture of a dolphin or put them all over the place. Or if you're talented in the least, draw some pictures of dolphins and put them around. Spend time in that dolphin energy. And whenever you come across it, let that be that reminder of this journey, of this autumn equinox that you're on, because it's a beautiful one. I really love this. And of course, know that as you're going through this entire, all the way from the Lion's Gate, all the way through this period of time, and every day of your life, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. You have an amazing autumn equinox period, and I know we'll definitely talk together soon. So you take care, hang in there, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.